Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson surprised the world when they announced that Rush would return to the stage in 2026, a long-awaited reunion that sent waves of excitement through generations of fans. This time, they are joined by German drummer Annika Nielus, whose extraordinary talent will carry the rhythmic legacy once led by the late Neil Peart. With a massive North American tour ahead, including 2 monumental nights at Toronto's Scotiabank Arena, Rush is ready to connect their powerful past with a renewed future, tracing their rhythm back to where it all began, with Jeff Jones. Before the world knew the names Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, there was Jeff Jones, the band's very first bassist. His time with Rush was brief, but his influence became the foundation for one of the greatest rock acts in history. Jeff's story began far from the Canadian heartland that would later embrace Rush. He was born into a family deeply rooted in music. His father, Claude Jones, was a jazz pianist who performed with legends like Oscar Peterson. Surrounded by melodies from an early age, Jeff learned flute and piano before falling in love with the deep, steady tones of the bass. When his family moved to Toronto, destiny quietly started aligning his path. In Toronto, Jeff met a passionate young guitarist named Alex Lifeson. They instantly clicked. 2 teenagers with the same burning drive for music. Together with drummer John Rutsey, they began rehearsing in Alex's living room. What started as casual jam sessions soon turned into something more serious. They covered songs from the Beatles, Cream, and classic blues artists, performing at school dances and local gigs. Their music was loud, bold, and full of youthful defiance. So much that they were once disqualified from a battle of the bands for exceeding the allowed volume limit. Like many great beginnings, the early version of Rush didn't last long. By the summer of 1968, Jeff found it difficult to balance personal commitments with the band's growing schedule. Long bus rides to Alex's house and a hectic routine began to wear him down. Contrary to old rumors, Jeff didn't suddenly quit to chase parties or other distractions. He simply recognized the natural turning point in his life. He later looked back on those days with affection, remembering the basement rehearsals in Alex's mother's house and the small community gigs that shaped their bond. When Jeff decided to step back, he suggested Alex call a friend who lived closer, a bassist named Geddy Lee. That simple recommendation changed music history. It marked the birth of the classic Rush lineup that would conquer the world. Jeff's departure wasn't dramatic or bitter. It was the quiet close of one chapter and the opening of another. After leaving Rush, Jeff continued his musical journey with the band Ocean at just 17 years old. Their hit song, Put Your Hand in the Hand, became an international success, taking him on tours around the world. Soon after, he joined Red Rider, achieving gold and platinum records throughout the 1970s and performing alongside artists like Tom Cochrane and Burton Cummings. Years later, fate brought him back into the Rush orbit. In the early 1980s, when Red Rider toured with Rush, drummer Neil Peart invited them to open for the band. It was during that tour that Jeff reunited with Alex and finally met Geddy and Neil. By then, Rush had become a global rock powerhouse, yet the meeting was warm, nostalgic, and filled with respect, a full-circle moment that needed no words. Today, Jeff Jones remains an active and respected musician. His time with Rush may have been short, but his impact endures as the spark that ignited their legendary journey. His story reminds us that success isn't always measured by fame or longevity. Sometimes it's about being the one who takes the very first step towards something extraordinary.